we starting?
Hello, everybody.
I'm sorry. Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Mondays Are for the Nerds.
I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
I'm your other co-host, Tristan Stump.
Thank you for joining us on this rainy week we have.
Yes, it's been very rainy for us.
Preface by saying, if you hear thunder, it's because we're in the middle of a flood.
But we have quite a bit to go through, but
Absolutely.
also we're going to just glaze through a lot of it because there are two things that are going to take a lot of conversation.
Exactly.
Specifically, there's one thing that's going to take so much conversation, but the other thing is also going to take a little bit of conversation.
Yeah.
So we're probably just going to glaze through last week's news. We missed last week because of a numerous list of reasons.
Yeah.
Why
just
we missed last
conflicts.
week. There was scheduling conflicts, and there was work that we were both doing, and just different things where it was like we tried so hard to record like the Sunday before. I was going to crunch time and edit
and then get it
out on Monday, and it just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
So but we could do a little bit of small talk.
We can. I actually don't have a lot to say.
You don't have a lot to say for the last 2 weeks?
No, I watched some Frasier. I'm in season 7 now.
Okay.
Played a little bit of Assassin's Creed, but not a lot. Didn't really have much time to. That's really about it. That's all I did.
I started playing. I haven't played much more of either Xenoblade X or Xenoblade Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I haven't had time to sit down and play anything like that. I was trying to play through the Mario games, and then when I was going to play Mario, I just got the itch to play an RPG. I'm like, but I can't sit down and play Xenoblade. So I got on the Super Nintendo, on the NES, or on the Switch, and started playing Breath of Fire, which is like an old Super Nintendo RPG that's like very classic, just turn-based. I'm having a good time with it. I've been playing it here and there when I can.
Good.
But that's pretty much it. Helped my aunt move houses.
Mm-hmm.
And
all of our time has been taken with work.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of work lately.
Yeah.
And preparing for this week alone.
Yes.
Mostly mentally. Man. We'll get to it. But,
we'll get to it. Anyone who knows us knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. Me specifically, if you know.
Yeah.
I'm getting Incredibles flashbacks. Anyway, sorry, can't keep that in.
No.
We have changed recording rooms because of different things, and so now we have a TV that we can play stuff on, which might end up being a bad idea. We'll see. If there's a lot of long pauses for future Tristan to edit out, then this might not be a thing that happens again. But
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Anyway.
Should I get...
We should probably get new releases since
we
don't have much going on beyond this.
I do got quite a bit of releases over the last 2 weeks. In VOD and digital side of things, on Tuesday, March 25th, The Monkey came out. On Tuesday, April 1st, Paddington in Peru hit VOD. And on Friday, April 4th, The Unbreakable Boy hit VOD and digital. In theaters, Thursday, March 27th, Chosen: The Last Supper Part 1 got an expansion. And Friday, March 28th, The Woman in the Yard released. Ramona becomes crippled by grief after her husband dies in a car accident, leaving her to care for her 2 children alone in her rural farmhouse. Her sadness soon turns into fear when a spectral woman in black appears on her front lawn, warning her today's the day. As the mysterious figure creeps closer and closer to the house, Ramona realizes she must protect her children from the evil woman who simply won't leave them alone. A Working Man, for the second episode in a row, came out. Levon Cade left behind a decorated military career in the Black Ops to live a simple life of working construction. However, when human traffickers kidnap his boss's daughter, his search to bring her home uncovers a world of corruption far greater than he ever could have imagined. It is the new team-up between David Ayer and Jason Statham after The Beekeeper. I like The Beekeeper better. This is still enjoyable, though. Hayden and I we loved it. The Friend got a limited release. A writer, played by Naomi Watts, finds her life disrupted after her friend and mentor, played by Bill Murray, commits suicide and leaves her his Great Dane, Apollo, to care for, forcing her to confront grief, floss, and her own creative inner life. Death of a Unicorn, for the second episode in a row, came out. When a man and his daughter accidentally hit and kill a unicorn with their car, his boss tries to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties with horrific results. This movie I loved. Trey and I watched it. I loved it. Of course, I can't say our names for this. Trey and I are Red Buds. Paul Rudd was hilarious in this. He wasn't like hilarious, usual Paul Rudd, but he was like still
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he was still Paul Rudd. I loved the way that the unicorn's designed. For anyone listening, this is not a kid's movie. This is rated R because there's language and there's a bit of gore.
It's also called Death of a Unicorn.
Exactly.
There's some times where I'm like, okay, I think I would look at a title and be like,
"Don't take my
okay,
kids to that."
I'm not going to take my kid to that.
You'd be
But then
surprised.
Sausage Party came out, and I had a friend who worked at the theater at the time and was like, yeah, I keep turning parents away just because they look and see it's animated. I'm like, it's called Sausage Party.
Yeah, exactly. There's no, but yeah, you see death and like the thing looks horrible. You don't want to show your kid a unicorn dying.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I really loved it. The Ballad of Wallace Island got a limited release. Old tensions resurface when former bandmates who were former lovers reunite for a private show at the island home of an eccentric millionaire. Wednesday, April 2nd, saw the limited release of Screamboat, a late-night boat ride in New York City becomes a struggle for survival. When a seemingly harmless mouse transforms into a dangerous monster, passengers must fight to stay alive. Friday, April 4th, saw the wide release of The Friend, as previously mentioned, as well as a Minecraft movie. A mysterious portal pulls 4 misfits into the overworld, a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master the terrain while embarking on a magical quest with an unexpected crafter named Steve. Trey saw that, and he's like, this is me and you. Jack Black and Jason Momoa are me and you. I also saw a TikTok where it was like, you're either going to be one of two people. You're going to be one that's laughing the entire time, or you're going to be one that's like, what did I just watch?
I guess I've said it multiple times. I think this is going to be a Master of Disguise level
Absolutely.
movie of, I recognize that this is bad. That doesn't make me love it any less.
Exactly. I'm expecting going into it, we were going to see it today.
Oh, yeah, we were going to see it today.
And
but
then
thanks
weather.
to the rain, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But
I'm so excited to see it just to laugh.
I did have a mid-credit scene spoiled for me. Won't say it, obviously. That legitimately I laughed at it. I was like, okay, that's hilarious. But also, I can see how people are going to roll their eyes at this movie. Like, they're just going to do nothing but you roll their eyes at it. People have been rolling their eyes at it since the trailer came out.
But it's I've told you this. It's going to be a meme vehicle. It's going to be full of memes. The amount of kids I had this whole week while
that have
subbing,
been quoting the trailer.
that especially Thursday, that were like, chicken jockey. I'm like, my goodness. But hopefully you'll get our thoughts on that here soon.
Yeah.
Freaky Tales hit theaters. Set in 1987 Oakland, Freaky Tales is a multi-track mixtape of colorful characters, an NBA star, a corrupt cop, a female rap duo, teen punks, neo-Nazis, and a debt collector on a collision course in a fever dream of showdowns and battles. Hell of a Summer got a limited release. It follows 24-year-old camp counselor Jason Hochberg, who arrives at Camp Pineway thinking his biggest problem is that he feels out of touch with his teenage coworkers. What he doesn't know is that a masked killer is lurking on the campgrounds, brutally picking counselors off one by one. And The Luckiest Man in America got a limited release. 1984, Michael Larson, an unemployed ice cream truck driver from Ohio, steps onto the game show. Press your luck, harboring a secret, the key to endless amounts of money. But his winning streak gets threatened when the executives in the control room start to uncover his real motivations. On the streaming side of things, Holland released on Amazon Prime Video on Thursday, March 27th. Nancy is a teacher whose life with her husband in Holland, Michigan tumbles into a twisted tale when she and her colleague become suspicious of a secret. And A Complete Unknown was released on Hulu. Friday, March 28th, saw Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Road Trip come to Disney+. Young Alexander Garcia thinks he has the worst luck in the world. When his multi-generational Mexican-American family sets off on a road trip to California, he's pretty sure disaster lurks around every corner. Queer also came to Max on that day, and on Monday, March 31st, the best Christmas pageant ever came to Stars. On the TV side of things, Sunday, March 23rd, saw David Blaine Do Not Attempt docuseries drop on Hulu. Tuesday, March 25th, saw the Season 4 premiere of The Cleaning Lady and Season 3 premiere of Alert Missing Persons Unit, both on Fox. Wednesday, March 26th, saw the Season 7 premiere of The Connors on ABC, the series premiere of The Studio and SideQuest, both on Apple TV+. The Studio is hilarious. I haven't seen the third episode yet, but the first 2 episodes it's so good. Mid-Century Modern Season 1 dropped on Hulu on Friday, March 28th. Mobland Season 1 came to Paramount Plus on Sunday, March 30th. Thursday, April 3rd, saw Pulse Season 1 come to Netflix, as well as Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 3. And The Bondsman dropped on Amazon Prime Video. And on Friday, April 4th, Dying for Sex premiered on FX on Hulu. That is all my releases for the last 2 weeks.
I got some releases here. Dark Deity on March 24th, for PC. A quarter of century has passed as Irving and the Eternal Order carefully rebuilt Varroa to protect it against a future war. Their efforts will be put to the test far too soon as a new threat looms on the horizon. Folklands on PC. In Folklands, a relaxing settlement builder with simulated citizens, you'll find the great stories can emerge from humble beginnings. Farm or harvest materials, manage production chains and supplies, and make sure the folks in your ever-growing settlement are happy, employed, and safe. As well as the first Berserker Kazan on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. In the 89th year of the Pell Lost Empire, the great General Kazan was framed for treason and banished to the snowy mountains. After narrowly escaping death, he sets forth in his long journey of revenge. He was once celebrated as the hero who saved the Empire from the fearsome Berserk dragon. On March 25th, we got Breakout Beyond on all major platforms. Breakout Beyond is a neon-infused sideways-scrolling reimagining of the classic arcade game Breakout, where players smash through walls of bricks to reach the end of each level, building combos for more intense effects and utilizing special blocks for power-ups. As well as Care Bears Unlock the Magic on PS4, PS5, and Switch. Dive into a world of fun and adventure with the Care Bears and Care Bears Unlock the Magic. Play as one of the Care Bears in a variety of arcade games. On March 26th, we had Mother Machine on PC cooperatively explore alien caves as a cute chaos gremlin with an endless appetite for adventure and mayhem. Thousands of years in the future on a distant planet. Left behind by our human creators, a godlike AI becomes a loving mother of her self-created species of little creatures. Twilight Monk on Switch and PC. As monsters ravage villages, survivors gather at Crescent Isles Monastery, seeking hope from the Munkin monks. Raziel Tenza, a Twilight Monk descendant, must stop the traitor Nox and restore peace as internal conflicts threaten even the monks' unity. And Wednesdays tells a fragmented story through multiple perspectives. Build rides and embellishments in Orco Park to unlock Tim's memories in the order you see fit. Step into the shoes of Tim's relatives and try to piece together the tangled memories of his past. On March 27th, we got AI Limit in the on PS5 and PC. In the distant future, when civilization is on the verge of extinction, people follow the legend of the Elysium in the last city, Havenswell. In this post-apocalyptic wasteland sci-fi ARPG, you will play as Arissa, a blader with immortality, and explore the city of ruin to find the hope of new life. Atomfall on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. A nuclear disaster has left an area of Britain in tatters. Atomfall, a new survival action game, will see you explore, scavenge, craft, barter, and fight your way through beautifully recreated scenery in search of answers. Bubble Ghost Remake on Switch and PC. The old castle of the renowned inventor Heinrich von Schnicker. In northern England, Heinrich's spirit returns as a small ghost. Alongside a mysterious bubble that he can move with gentle blows, he must face his own out-of-control inventions and fierce wild animals. As well as Ina Dream Barbecue Chapter 1. Ina Dream Barbecue Chapter 1 is an interactive adventure game, the first of its kind in the ENA series, where players explore the strange worlds, take on side quests, and meet unique characters as ENA searches for the elusive boss. As well as sports renovations on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Your hometown basketball court is in danger. Once home to the top-tier league team fostering many new talents in the field, now covered in cobwebs and dust. And now a big developer is only wanting to get his grubby hands on the place, tear it down, and build a new shopping mall. On Friday, March 28th, we had Dollhouse Behind the Broken Mirror. Dollhouse Behind the Broken Mirror is a terrifying first-person horror game that tells a dark and mysterious story in a cinematic style. Enter the broken mind of Eliza D'Amour, a once-celebrated singer now trapped in the labyrinth of her own memories. On March 31st, we had Wild Keepers Rising on PC. Tame monsters, slay waves of enemy hordes, explore fantasy lands. Wild Keepers Rising is a whimsical action RPG roguelite set in a beautiful hand-drawn world that combines the power curve of bullet heaven games with the compulsive fun of a creature collector. On April 1st, we got Nif Nif on PC and Switch. The forest is being invaded by mysterious evil goo. Meet Nif Nif, a cute piglet with the mission to clean and save friends in this cozy deck builder roguelike. Venture into the heartwarming story with accessible mechanics and themes for everyone. On April 2nd, we got Croc's Legend of the Gobbos, all major platforms. Croc Legend of the Gobbos is the heart-warming journey of an enduring, humble little crocodile equipped with only his iconic backpack and wiggly butt as he platforms his way across a series of unique worlds by running, jumping, climbing, swimming, and tail spinning on his quest to rescue his adopted family of Gobbos from the grasp of the evil sorcerer Baron Dante and his impish Dantini hordes. That is a re-release of a PlayStation 1 platformer, I believe.
I was gonna say I want to play that.
I've heard it's pretty good. I've heard it is a way better re-release of an old 90s platformer than Glover. Apparently, the Glover re-release is just not very good.
That's the one where you walk like a glove.
Where you wear a glove. Elroy and the Aliens on PC. It's the year 1993. Talking robots, ghosts from the past, and ancient alien technology buried under desert sand. An adventure following Elroy and Peggy in search of a long-lost father. How far would you go to bring back the ones you love? Onward, but aliens?
Exactly.
Steel Hunters PC. Steel Hunters is a free-to-play PvPvE shooter with futuristic mech battles. Level up your hunter and upgrade your arsenal to turn rivals into scrap. Choose your playstyle on combat tactics against 5 other 2 teams. Only one can extract from the hunting grounds. On April 3rd, we got Detective Dotson on PC, a story-driven adventure game set in the modern-day India. Meet colorful characters and explore the richly detailed streets of India to collect clues. Complete evidence boards and solve cases as Dotson, a reluctant detective who wants to be a Bollywood star. As well as Jin and Jan on PC, get ready for a challenge. In Jin and Jan, you control 2 characters at once. Jin follows your commands, but Jan always does the opposite. Anticipate every move, dodge obstacles and enemies, and guide the brothers to the center of the map to complete the ritual of balance. And finally, on April 4th, we got Echo Beach. Echo Beach. Echo has been destroyed by a nasty robot rebellion and in urgent need of new town planner. Your job, get the town thriving again with your particle harvesting skills and restore it back to its heyday. As well as Peppered, an existential platformer on PC, a game where you, an office intern, must save the world from impending doomsday, but your choices and failures heavily impact the branching story and lead to unique outcomes, including one-shot boss fights and random events.
And posters. Last week we got posters for Andor, A Star Wars Story Season 2, The Last of Us Season 2, which is on its 4th episode in a row, The Bondsman, G20, Sinners, The Accountant 2, I Know What You Did Last Summer, You Season 5, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, and a Minecraft movie, specifically character poster for the Nitwit Villager. And this week we got posters for Bring Her Back and Tron Ares. Trailers/teasers. Last week we got trailers for Andor, Star Wars Story Season 2, releasing April 22nd on Disney+. Final Destination Bloodlines, releasing May 16th in theaters. Drop, April 11th in theaters. The Ritual, June 6th in theaters. Overcompensating, May 15th on Amazon Prime Video. And One Battle After Another for the 2nd episode in a row, releasing September 26th in theaters. And this week we got trailers for Black Mirror Season 7, releasing April 10th on Netflix. Karate Kid Legends, releasing May 30th in theaters. Bring Her Back, releasing May 30th in theaters as well. Fountain of Youth, releasing May 23rd on Apple TV+. Star Wars Tales of the Underworld, releasing on May 4th on Disney+. South Park Season 27, releasing July 9th on Comedy Central. Megan 2.0, releasing June 27th in theaters. Phineas and Ferb, the new the revival series, releasing June 6th on Disney Channel, and I think next day on Disney+.
It's
Or is it the same day?
on
June
Disney
5th?
Channel, and next day
On Disney+. Okay. The Rehearsal Season 2, releasing April 20th on HBO. Neighborhood Watch, releasing April 25th in theaters. Not Just a Goof for the 2nd episode in a row, releasing April 7th on Disney+. And Lilo and Stitch for the 3rd episode in a row, releasing May 23rd in theaters. And Tron Ares, releasing October 10th in theaters. For release dates, last week, Saw 11 officially no longer has a release date. The Strangers Chapter 2 will release on September 26th in theaters. And the live-action Legend of Zelda movie will release on March 26, 2027 in theaters, 1 week apart from Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And then this weekend release dates, you know what makes me so happy?
What?
I get to say Coyote versus ACME for the 2nd episode in a row. I forget this happened this week.
It's so funny that we were like talking about like, oh yeah, negotiations started. I was expecting maybe a month to pass.
Yeah, same. No, the next week, literally Sunday, officially saved by Ketchup Entertainment, who bought the film for $50 million, and they plan to give the film a worldwide theatrical release in 2026.
So apparently,
happy.
like Looney Tune, the day that Earth would blow up, they were probably just testing the waters. That's why it was such a small release. That's why it wasn't advertised the best. Word of mouth actually worked in their favor.
Yeah.
But the way they talk about this one, like, did you hear like the CEO of Ketchup, like what he said about Coyote versus ACME is like it's such a heartfelt.
It is.
Like he's like it's just like
there's like no negativity around it.
Yeah, he just loved the movie so much that it's like okay, so basically the day the Earth blew up was just them going okay, if this works out, maybe we can get Coyote versus ACME from them.
Yeah. And it worked out enough.
Worked out enough that they were able to do this, and and I think the fact that they're doing it now and waiting until next year is probably because they want to advertise the heck out of it.
Absolutely.
I just hope it's early next year. I hope it's. I don't want to wait.
I expect like probably February, Marchish.
Yeah, I could see
maybe April.
I could see
no
it
later
being
than April.
like the movie released it around spring break.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know,
The ample time. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm like weirdly giddy that we get to say Coyote vs. ACME the second episode in a row, and it's a good thing.
it's so, dude,
And it's not a bad thing.
right? All the rants, all the things we've said about Warner Brothers, and
They're like, this is the battle we're not going to win. And so they gave up.
Ironically, though, I do have something to say about some of their announcements that you'll get to later in the episode.
Jumanji 3 got a release date of December 11th, 2026, with Jake Kasdan returning to direct. South Park Season 7 will premiere on July 9th, and the new season will include Diddy, a violent war against Canada, and air traffic control chaos. Eden got a release date of August 22nd in theaters, and The Smashing Machine will release October 3rd in theaters. That is the Dwayne Johnson's A24 romp. In castings, last week, Jack Rayner has been cast in Lee Cronin's new The Mummy movie. Linda Cardellini will officially star as Pamela Voorhees in Friday the 13th, the prequel series. Dexter Resurrection, for the 6th episode in a row, Jimmy Smits will return as Miguel Prado. Malcolm in the Middle revival has cast Caleb Ellsworth Clark as the role of Dewey, taking over. But Christopher Masterson and Justin Burfield will be returning as Francis and Reese. Harry Potter, Nick Frost is in talks to star as Hagrid. Avatar The Last Airbender animated sequel movie, Stephen Yeun has been cast. More on that later. Renee Zellweger's joined the cast of Only Murders in the Building Season 5, which is on its 2nd episode in a row. And this week, Jason Momoa confirms he will return as Duncan Idaho in Dune Messiah. And Charlie Plummer is reportedly being eyed to star as the young Haymitch in the movie adaptation of The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. That is all of my first batch of miscellaneous.
The Malcolm in the Middle. Did you see that
I think
Frankie Muniz is having to binge watch the series to remember? Well, because of the amount of car wrecks he's been in with his racing career. He's just all the concussions he's had. He does not remember filming the show.
That's right.
So he's binge watching the show right now in preparation for the reunion. But moving on to my miscellaneous news, Bam Margera will reportedly appear in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, as Tony Hawk insisted it. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will release on PS5 on April 17th, revealed in the trailer where Nolan North spoke to Troy Baker.
Yes.
Nathan Drake spoke to Indy.
Exactly.
Funcom clarifies that May 20th will be the full release of Dune Awakening, not just an early access. There will also not be a subscription, but will insist have a free update with content and features, as well as optional paid DLC. River City Girls 2, we got a Jimmy Lee trailer. Minecraft Spring to Life overview trailer released on it released March 25th, the Spring of Life update. Mm-hmm. AI Limit got the launch trailer. We got a gameplay reveal of Town to City. Liminal City got an official reveal trailer, offers an exploration-based psychological horror experience set in the infinite cityscape. Players must navigate through abandoned buildings, eerie empty streets, and unpredictable level shifts to find an escape. Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 3 launched on March 25th. All Will Fall got a gameplay trailer, a physics-based survival city building game developed by All Parts Connected. Players master the game's 3D construction system to create a vertical-based city filled with intricate structures to protect them from the harsh waters below. Search for resources, see what there is to see among the blue waters, and ensure the safety of the colony at all costs. It launches in 2025 on PC. A demo is available now. Metal Eden from Riken Games presents an adrenaline-fueled sci-fi first-person shooter that explores a world where humanity's consciousness has transited the flesh, now residing within robots. It releases on May 6th on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC, with a demo starting April 8th. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was delayed to October 2025. Dreamhaven's first showcase premiered 4 new games. Thunderfolk, a turn-based RPG with couch co-op, developed internally, releasing April 23rd. Wildgate, a crew-based first-person shooter about performing space heists. Wildgate players called Prospectors team up in small crews to venture into a hostile, unpredictable, and mysterious region of space and search for an ancient relic known as the Artifact. While in pursuit of the artifact, players much work together to pilot their spacecraft, plunder wreckage, and discover forgotten loot. To win, crews must successfully reach the exit point with the artifact or go for a domination victory by destroying all rival ships by whatever means necessary. It will be available in 2025 on Steam, PS5, and Xbox. That seems like absolute chaos. We need to get the guys to play that.
Yes.
Linked Banner of the Spark, an action RPG from FuzzyBot, developed externally but published and supported by Dreamhaven, getting a 1.0 launch in May, as well as Mechabellum, a turn-based tactical auto battler from Game River. It was released in September, but will continue with updates. Quite a Ride, a survival horror game set on a bike from Goodwin Games, announced release date to be determined. The more you pedal, the more your phone battery fills as you travel through the fog. Marvel Rivals has added a Venom twerk emote.
Yes.
Fully acknowledging the meme, because I'm pretty sure that was a meme from a while back.
Yeah.
Venom twerking sounds familiar.
Yeah.
An unannounced Hogwarts Legacy paid DLC and Definitive Edition were quietly canceled by Warner Brothers. A Sinners game will be made by Fortnite. The game follows 6 players against vampires in a survival horror challenge. If eliminated, a player will turn into a vampire and have to fight their former teammates.
I honestly love that.
Right? I love just ideas like that where it's just simple enough to be fun.
Yeah.
A Soul Slinger, Envoy of Death, will launch April 17th on PC. Final Sentence, a fast-paced typing battle royale game developed by Button Mash. Players will go up against 100 players to type specific actions precisely to rise above the opposition. One mistake, and it could be the last, as players go head-to-head with the same text prompt to see who can type the fastest. Launching this summer on PC. Dude, Tetris 99, but with typing.
I know. I
just
kind of want to play that very bad.
I'm bad at typing, but I'd play that.
Yeah.
Equinox Homecoming was revealed. Equinox is an open-world MMORPG for fans of murder mysteries, cozy escapism, and horses. Saddle up and charge into a mysterious adventure. Every trail leads to wonder and intrigue while uncovering an occult murder mystery. Developed by Blue Scarab. Take-Two CEOs revealed they are purposely not revealing the GTA 6 release date yet to maintain anticipation, and that marketing for the game won't begin until very close to launch. It's very cocky. Like, we don't have to market it very much. It's Grand Theft Auto. Which, I mean, I get it.
It's giving off James Cameron Avatar vibes.
It very much is, where it's just like, it's Grand Theft Auto. People will show up. I'm like, there were people who didn't know a Switch 2 was a thing until, like, this week.
Yeah.
A family member. I don't think it was an aunt. It was a family member who did not know that Star Wars Episode 7 was a thing until the weekend it came out.
Mm-hmm. And imagine that's like at what, 20s? I think it was 20 years.
2017, 2016.
That was 10 years since the...
So, like...
To not know that there's a first Star Wars movie in 10 years to the week of...
So,
you'd be surprised,
all I'm going to say is, you'll be surprised. Not all gamers are as online. I mean, this week... My notes, by the way, were done by Jay this week, because I've just been staying offline as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
The only time I went online was for something that we'll talk about later. But, yeah, so we'll see. GTA isn't my thing. So this is just more of like, if you're going to want to get word out there, at least maybe they'll just give it a couple months. Nintendo does that. They only give their games a couple months for the most part. I mean, so yeah, a RuneScape Dragon Wilds announced from developer Jagex will be a co-op open world survival game entering early access on PC in this spring with a wide launch in 2026. Marvel Rivals released their Season 2 plans, launches April 11th. The theme is Hellfire Gala with Emma Frost and Ultron as the new characters. A Nintendo Direct out of nowhere, we like, okay, Switch 2 Directs next week, it's whatever.
Yeah.
On March 27th, a Nintendo Direct was held. We got a trailer for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. This was completely focused on Switch 1 games, by the way.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake releasing in 2025. We got a look at a new character added to one of the games. I couldn't tell if it was 1 or 2, but a new character. So it seems there will be new content. I don't know if there was new content in Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. I still need to play it. I got it, and I never played it. But excited for that one. The reason 3 released first is because 1 and 3 is actually a prequel to 1 and 2. So they wanted to actually remake the games chronologically instead of in release order, which I think is cool.
I like that.
No Sleep for Konami Date from AI, the Sonium Files. It is a new RPG in the series where Date, the protagonist, investigates a mystery involving a missing iris by exploring Tokyo and delving into the minds of others through dream worlds or Somnia. Releases July 25th, 2025 on Switch and Switch 2, been confirmed. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Switch 2 stuff this week.
Yeah.
So any of these games that were talked about in the Switch 1 Direct, I'll just go
2.
ahead and say they were in the Switch 2 Direct just to save us some time. Raito Remastered, The Mystery of Soulless Army. The story follows Raito through his investigation as he scours all of Tokyo for clues while meeting various important people in the city and uncovering something greater than either Raito or Narumi could ever have suspected. Releases June 19th, 2025 on Switch and Switch 2. Pre-orders began March 27th. Shadow Labyrinth is a 2D action platformer and a genre-twisting take on Pac-Man. We got another trailer for it. It's based on the
secret level.
The secret level short. Releases July 18th, 2025. Patapon 1+2 Replay, remastered versions of Patapon 1 and 2, releases July 11th. The thing about Patapon 1 and 2 being on here is those are PlayStation games. Like classic PS1, PS2, I can't remember what platform.
Oh, that's right, because they're an Astrobot.
But because they're not, so that's like surprising. It's like, man, another PlayStation classic is just getting brought to Switch.
Yeah.
Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. Zephyr's Town Bazaar was once the most famous in the world, featuring customers and peddlers from all over the world. However, the bazaar has fallen into despair. After some tragic events, the player is tasked to bring prosperity back to Zephyr Town by setting their bazaar and expanding it. Releases August 27th, 2025. I believe that is a remake of a DS game. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond got a little more of a look. Following the destruction of Phazon, Samus fights for her survival on the planet Vuros. She develops mysterious psychic powers and confronts foes, including the bounty hunter Sylux. Finally, we get to see Sylux in action. So yeah, she has new psychic abilities on top of her suit abilities. It looks like there's kind of a time travel aspect where you're exploring the planet, but each part of the planet you go to is gone through time travel. So even though it looks like it's going to be more open, it's still got that segmented, because that's how the other Metroids are. They're open, but everything is like cut into segments. Super excited for that one. That one is also getting a Switch 2 release, but we'll get more on that one later. Disney Villains Cursed Cafe was, I believe, revealed and shadow dropped. I don't think this was announced before this Direct. It's also on other platforms, not just the Switch. In Disney Villains Cursed Cafe, you'll craft and serve strange elixirs to Disney villains, including Ursula and Gaston, with the help of Yzma, influencing their storylines and leading to different outcomes as you upgrade your ingredients. That was shadow dropped that day on March 27th. Witchbrook got another trailer. Embark on magical coming-of-age adventure when you enroll as a witch in training at Witchbrook. Journey from the familiar to the fantastical as you learn to harness magic around you in this detailed life sim and social RPG. Releases this holiday. The Eternal Life of Goldman. In this breathtaking platformer adventure, explore a vast hand-drawn archipelago inspired by famous ancient fables and depicted in classic frame-by-frame animation, and defeat a mysterious deity. The Eternal Life of Goldman is a vibrant yet dark adventure that weaves together legends, fairy tales, and myths. Releasing this holiday. Dude, that game looks fun.
It does.
You're just kind of Scrooge McDuck, like the cane hop.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know. It kind of looks DuckTales inspired, like in the gameplay. And then the animation's just gorgeous. Gradius Origins is a re-release collection of Gradius, Salamander, Life Force, Gradius 2, Gradius 3, and Salamander 2, as well as a new Salamander 3. Releases August 7th. Rift of the Necrodancer released on March 27th, and it got a trailer that highlighted some DLCs, including crossovers with Celeste and Pizza Tower. Amongst many other future DLCs being teased. Tamagotchi Plaza, a new a video game based on little Tamagotchi toys, was released, or was announced, releasing June 27th. It kind of looks like a collection of like those kid games you would play online where like, dentist, and it looks fine. It's just whatever. If it's someone else's thing, it looks like Animal Crossing, but it's just split into mini games instead of actually being like a build-a-town kind of game.
Yeah.
Pokemon Legends ZA got another look. Wild Zones featured where you can catch Pokemon. The Z to A Royale was shown, revealing why the game is called ZA, other than being like an X and Y pseudo-sequel.
Yeah.
Where you start as rank Z, and at night you will go around and fight other trainers to rank up until you get to rank A. This also revealed the gameplay where you could just jump other players' Pokemon. You could just sneak up behind them and just straight up just jump them, just mug them. Dude, that was so. Trey immediately texted me. Was like, "This is a gameplay thing I never knew I needed." And I'm like, "Same." I haven't played too much Pokemon games, but this one is definitely like just that alone of like I said it before, the idea where you can the fights happen in real time, so you actually have to have your Pokemon dodge and stuff. Like that's cool to me. I love turn-based RPGs, but like Pokemon has been kind of like just iterative, where they add something new onto the gameplay instead of doing something new with the gameplay, if that makes any sense. Kind of like how for a while Assassin's Creed was just kind of more Assassin's Creed,
but in a different location.
Instead, like it added something new to the gameplay instead of doing something new with it. Mega Evolutions were also shown. Releases late 2025. Same with Metroid Prime 4. Doesn't have a release date yet.
But it's coming.
That confuses me. I don't know why we don't have release dates for those games yet.
Yeah.
Pokemon makes sense. I'm going to guess November, but like I would have told you Metroid Prime 4 was going to release by May.
I think you said that in your predictions.
I think I said that in my predictions. Yeah. Maybe it's their August game. I don't know. Rhythm Heaven Groove was announced. A new Rhythm Heaven game for the first time since I think the 3DS, like 2016 maybe.
A while ago.
It's been 10 plus years.
Yeah.
It releases in 2026. Virtual game cards were announced by Nintendo. So now your digital purchases of games will be turned into virtual game cards, which can be loaded from one system to another. You can rearrange what games you can play on up to 2 systems. So that way, maybe your home screen isn't just filled with game after game. You can eject digital games so they're just not on your home screen, which is nice. And you can put them on your other up to 2 systems. I imagine this is how putting your older games on Switch 2 is going to work. I haven't looked that much into how backwards compatible.
Converting over a little bit.
Like I don't. That's all still a little confusing, but it'll make sense by the time the console comes out. You can also loan games to anybody within your family plan for up to 2 weeks before it is automatically returned to you. This will be added via a system update later this month. High on Life releases on Switch May 6th. Star Overdrive will release April 10th. The Wandering Village releases July 17th. King of Meat releases this year. Lou's Lagoon releases summer of this year. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time releases May 21st. Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, which looks gorgeous. The backgrounds are drawn and then the characters are sprites.
Yeah.
This is an old game that's launched on March 27th. I don't know if it was a shadow announcement shadow drop or if it was just like a reminder that it was coming.
Yeah.
Monument Valley 1 and 2 releases April 15th. Monument Valley 3 will be coming summer 2025. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots releases 2025. That's another previously Sony exclusive franchise coming to other consoles. Marvel Cosmic Invasion was announced from the team behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, the really good modern retro beat 'em up. They're doing that with Marvel Cosmic Invasion. After Annihilus has launched an unprecedented attack across the galaxy, all life hangs in the balance. Nova, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Phyla-Vell, Captain America, Storm, and I can't remember Venom.
Yeah.
And many more heroes will team up on a star-spanning brawling adventure against the deadly Annihilation Wave releases holiday this year. So excited for that. Phyla-Vell is such a weird pick.
Of everyone, yeah, it's just like a way
just
out of
a random,
field.
just like deep cut. I say deep cut. For those who don't know, Phyla-Vell is the original Captain Marvel's daughter. She's a sword. She's cool. I only know her because I'm a Marvel nerd, but even then, I recognize the name. I still had to Google who it was. She has been in the MCU as the random little girl with white hair that joins the Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of the movie, at the end of Volume 3, who we don't know if we'll see her again, but anyway, we also got a announcement of Nintendo Today, a daily Nintendo news app that works as a daily calendar. It launched later that day. I have it on my phone. It's cool. It's cute. And we also got Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream announced out of nowhere. But the crazy thing about this one is that I didn't think we would ever get a Tamagotchi Life. They kind of Mii's popped up when they had to. They made Miitopia, but that kind of seemed like we needed another game, so let's just get Miitopia out there.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, this is basically The Sims, but with Mii's, so it has the Mii humor. Where just random interactions will happen with your characters. There'll be love triangles out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You could have them sing songs, and it's voice to text, or text to voice. I mean, so the voice acting's all wonky, and dude, it's just the one on 3DS, Tomodachi. It's just Tomodachi Life. So I'm so excited for this. releases in 2026, unfortunately.
As with everything.
Yeah. That was the Nintendo Direct.
For March 27th.
For March 27th. That's also my gaming news, other than something big that will be replacing anniversaries. If we want to get to Jay's other half of the miscellaneous.
Yes, I got a little bit. New looks. We got a new look at Stitch from Lilo and Stitch from the 3rd episode in a row. New stills from Warfare. A new look at Tom Cruise's stunts in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. In first looks, we got a first look at Chief of War, starring Jason Momoa, Lucienne Buchanan, and Tamira Morrison. It follows the story of Hawaiian unification, resilience, and adaptation in the face of colonization in the 18th century, releasing August 1st on Apple TV+. First look at Ventress and Cad Bane in Star Wars Tales of the Underworld, who will each be getting 3 short stories. Elle, first look at Lexi Mindtree as a young Elle Woods. That's the Legally Blonde prequel series. First look at the Phineas and Ferb revival series. First official image of Avatar Fire and Ash. And first look at Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Rami Youssef, and Corey Michael Smith in Succession creator Jesse Armstrong's new movie now titled Mountainhead. And box office earnings for the last week, Snow White, for the 3rd episode in a row, opened with $87.3 million worldwide with a budget of over $200 million. Mickey 17 passed $100 million worldwide. The Princess Mononoke IMAX release earned $1.2 million in its domestic opening day while playing on only 330 screens, which is not bad at all. Final Destination Bloodlines, the trailer's the second most watched horror trailer debut ever, 178.7 million views in just 24 hours. And this week, A Working Man for the 2nd episode in a row opened at number 1 at the box office with $15.2 million. And a Minecraft movie earned the biggest domestic previews ever for a video game movie with $10.5 million. For those who don't know, that's Thursday night showings. And it earned $57 million in its domestic opening day, which is the biggest opening day for a video game movie ever. And it's now tracking for a $150 million opening weekend, doubling its projected figure, and a $260 million worldwide. For Glen Powell news, The Running Man has wrapped filming for the 3rd episode in a row. How to Train Your Dragon for the 4th episode in a row. We got posters for Hiccup and Toothless, Ashford and Stormfly, Snotloud and Hookfang, Rough Nut and Tough Nut and Barch and Belch, Fish Legs and Meatloaf and A Terrible Terror. I like the designs. There's the Gronkle threw me off at first till I realized that those were not horns, there was Fish Legs' legs. I was like, why does he have curly horns? But no, we've already had the conversation where they're going to look more realistic.
Yeah.
In new announcements, Nicholas Hoult is in talks to star in a new bank heist movie directed by David Leitch. A Hawktua Girl documentary is in the works, developed by the studio behind Cyber Sleuths, The Idaho Murders, and Surviving Jeffrey Epstein. Zendaya will star in a Ronnie Spector biopic for A24 with Barry Jenkins set to direct. A live-action Scooby-Doo series is moving forward at Netflix. The series follows the gang at a summer camp who team up to solve the mystery of a lost Great Dane puppy who may have witnessed a supernatural murder. This week has been so jam-packed, I forgot about this.
Yeah, so this is I'm like, oh, murder mystery, that's cool. Like, that means they're probably going to be a little more mature. Maybe not like Riverdale, but maybe
like Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, maybe
something like that. Where cool, but also, is this another origin story?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it has to be if find a Great Dane puppy.
Unless the Great Dane puppy's scrappy.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, I saw him. Let me at him.
No! Oh no! Zack Snyder is set to direct a UFC movie. Dana White will produce with the UFC. With Turkey Alashik also producing. I apologize if I butchered that name. It follows a young fighter rising from the rough streets of LA to get a shot at a UFC championship. Godzilla Minus One director Takashi Yamazaki is officially moving forward with his first English language film titled Grain Gear at Sony. The Breadwinner has been announced, starring Nate Bargatze and releasing March 13th, 2026. A sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is in the works at Netflix, with David Fincher set to direct, and Quentin Tarantino has already written the script. It will focus more on adventures of Cliff Booth, which is Brad Pitt's character. And Quentin Tarantino wrote the script but decided not to direct it, but Brad Pitt liked it so much that he wanted to pitch it to David Fincher. New Friday movies in the works, with Ice Cube set to return. In my miscellaneous mentionables, I got some Lego news. The Lord of the Rings of the Shire Lego set was officially revealed. It'll be 2017 pieces retailing for $269.99. It drops today, April 5th. Disney and 20th Century have acquired Martin Scorsese's new crime thriller starring Dwayne Johnson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Emily Blunt. And development on the live-action Tangled movie has been stopped indefinitely. And that is all of my miscellaneous news. As we kind of said, in lieu of Birthdays and anniversaries this week. We have 2 big events for each of us. As some people now say, his big one.
So the Switch 2 Direct was held. Big news blowout on the Switch 2.
The only notes I didn't do.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to try to kind of summarize everything so it doesn't take forever to go over.
Yeah.
So it comes out on June 5th. Some of the spec stuff, it's 7.9 inch screen, which is versus like I think it's 2 inches bigger.
Yeah.
It has a 120 hertz gameplay screen. It uses LCD screen, not OLED, probably for cheaper reasons. It has an internal storage of 256 gigabytes. The first Switch had 32 for reference. Faster loading times. The new game carts are also faster loading. It uses micro SD cards Express. Which also have faster loading times. So even the games that aren't getting Switch 2 upgrades, some are getting Switch 2 upgrades, and I'll get to those later. They will run, your Switch 1 games will just load faster automatically.
Yeah.
Has a built-in microphone that has noise canceling technology, so it'll only pick up your voice even if it's on the TV and you're on the couch.
Yeah.
The stand on the back is much more well suited for playing on tabletop. The 2 USB ports allows you to attach things like a camera, which we'll also get to later, or charging while it's in tabletop mode. The game carts are red. The physical games, they're red instead of black. And then you can transfer. Oh, yeah, here we go. This article I'm reading to kind of help me remember everything. Switch and Switch 2, you can transfer data between the systems. Some physical and digital games will be compatible with Switch 2. They kind of have a list of games that have problems and that are working on the official Nintendo website.
Yeah.
Nintendo announced Game Chat, which uses the microphone. It's basically built-in Discord. If you look at the build, that's what the C button does. It's C for chat. So you can stream your games to friends that are on the same chat. You can play the same game together and talk to each other that way. It's basically just Discord, like video call in Discord. It uses the Switch 2 camera, so you can even see each other. Some games, they're the Switch 2 version of Mario Party Jamboree, which will have a new mode that uses the camera and microphone. And then moving on to that, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party Jamboree Mario Party Jamboree, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land will be getting Switch 2 editions, as well as Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends ZA. Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Mario Party will be getting extra content. And will be $20 upgrades, or if you don't own the game already, then it's $80 for the game. So those would be getting Switch 2 editions. I believe Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild are going to be $10. So Tears of the Kingdom be $80, Breath of the Wild be $70 if you don't already own the game. If you have NSO memberships, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are actually going to be free upgrades, or free-ish, because you're paying for the online subscription. But we can move on to price that way, just kind of jump around everywhere. Oh, and as well, there are some games that will not be getting Switch 2 editions, but will be getting free upgrades that just run better. Legend of Zelda, I'm not going to list all of them, but Echoes of Wisdom, Link's Awakening have them. Mario Odyssey is going to be getting them. ARMS is going to be getting it. So some games will I'm sure those won't be the only ones.
Yeah.
There's just going to be more as time goes on. They also announced, as far as new games go, before we get into the big ones, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, a new Hyrule Warriors game featuring Princess Zelda's time in the past during Tears of the Kingdom was announced. A sequel to Kirby Air Ride called Kirby Air Riders was announced, directed by Masahiro Sakurai. A Rocket League-esque basketball game called Dragon Drive using the mouse functionality of the Switch 2's new Joy-Con. Metroid Prime 4 is also getting mouse functionality. Man, this is just a scattered... I'm just trying to think of all the different announcements, because I didn't have time to write it down, and I said I would, and it's just... Anyway, price, the console was priced at $450. Mario Kart was $80 and Donkey Kong was $70, and there was a lot of misinformation going around about Mario Kart being $90 when it's physical. I believe that is the case. It is €90 physically and like €66 digitally or something. It's going to be more expensive to get it physically there. Here it was just going to be $80. And pre-orders were set to start April 9th, but they announced yesterday, as of this recording, that pre-orders in the United States would indefinitely be paused while they assess new prices due to the tariffs that were put in place. So we don't have all the information on pricing at the moment, really. Some other misinformation stuff. Some of the physical game cards will actually be game keys, but that's only some. There's very specific games, basically third parties who do not want to try to compress their games onto the 64 gigabyte game card. I think the one before that was 32.
I was going to ask what game keys were.
So the game key works like a PS5 disc. Where it's just you download the game. It's just letting you download the game.
Yeah.
But you'll still physically have it, and it'll still be like, hey, you only need to be online once. Whereas I know some PS5 games you still need to be online to check if you own it and stuff. So like it's not ideal, but not every game's going to be that way. Like there's been a lot of there's a lot of things to be angry about with the prices because all this stuff was great. The stuff we're about to get into, the stuff that I really want to talk about, the third party games, the Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. But there's also a lot of misinformation going around making the anger worse. Games are not $90 as of this moment. It is $80, which sucks. It should be $70 like Donkey Kong, but it's only Mario Kart, and it's only the Switch 2 editions of the older games, which is basically, it seems to be like they're only charging $20. It's only going to be $80 if it actually comes with new content. Yeah. Which means you're buying like a deluxe version of a game. It just stinks that you're doing it all at once. A lot of this stuff's been done by PlayStation 2. Like, people are mad that you have to pay for some of the upgrades, but that's what you had to do with some PlayStation 5 games. It was just kind of a game-by-game basis, and that's what Nintendo's doing here. It just depends on the game. But Mario Kart World is what it's officially called, was given a big blowout. 24 racers instead of 12. There is wall grinding, rail grinding, wall jumping, changing of weather, just a lot of different things. But the big thing is that it is an open world Mario Kart. So so all the tracks are in the same map. And the way Grand Prix work now is that you'll do a 3-lap race on the first time, and then the other 3 tracks on a Grand Prix you have to drive to. So it is a race to the next track. You loop through that one, you race to the next track, and it just works like that from there. As well as a knockout mode where you'll just race from one end of the map to the other through the different tracks. And if you don't make a certain placement between each track, you get eliminated, as well as a free roam mode where you can just go around, take pictures, play as whoever you want, and just, have fun. I think you can hang around with buddies and do the same thing, which also with the game chat. And another big thing about this game is the playable characters. There are 50 playable characters so far.
Oh my god, 50?
That we have seen
I thought
so
there's
far.
only the 24.
No, dude, it's...
Oh my goodness.
And I'm actually doing something that's probably going to take more time than it should, but I'm going to list all the characters. I will say, it seems there are 84 slots that people saw from the demos because Nintendo's been showing off demos and stuff. 84 slots. Unfortunately, it seems character costumes, which are also a thing. You eat a burger or you eat food while you're racing and you unlock a costume. Those take up separate character slots for some reason.
Okay.
Hopefully not. And hopefully that's just a demo thing.
So it's not like in the Lego games where it's like you get the character and then above it it's like cycle through.
Yeah, it's just it's like the older Lego game days.
Yeah,
where characters are separate. Which that's how it was on Mario Kart 8. Tanuki Mario was a separate character than regular Mario. But yeah, 50 racers confirmed so far. It could be this could be the only 50. We don't know. But we have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Toad, Daisy, Rosalina, Donkey Kong, featuring a new look. Wario, Koopa Troopa, Pauline, Waluigi, Toadette, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby Rosalina, Bowser Jr., Lakitu, King Boo, Shy Guy, Birdo, Dry Bones, Wiggler, Hammer Bro, Charge and Chuck, Nabbit, and Monty Mole. Those are all characters that have been in games before. Some are missing. Diddy Kong's missing. Funky Kong's missing. Petey Piranha's missing, which is surprising. He's kind of like someone they like to bring back a lot. But then we get into the new characters, some of which have never been...
You see my smile spreading across my face.
Some of which have never been playable in a Mario game before at all. We have Goomba, Piranha Plant, Pianta from Mario Sunshine.
Okay, Goomba and Piranha Plant not being playable honestly shocks me.
Piranha Plant's been playable before in Smash and stuff, and Goomba's been playable
in Mario
baseball
Kart,
games. But Mario Kart,
you think those are the...
I think before, here recently they haven't cared, but before they've never been playable because they don't have hands.
Okay, that's fair.
But now they don't care. Like Mario Party, Goomba's playable.
Yeah.
So as far as the new characters go, we have Goomba, Piranha Plant, Pianta from Mario Sunshine. First time since the GameCube days that they've been seeing. Maybe Wii days. Spike, Dolphin, just a dolphin. Moo Moo, the cow from Moo Moo Meadows.
Here we go.
That's the one they specifically showed off and probably acknowledging the Moo Moo Meadows meme. Moo Moo Meadows is also back as a racetrack.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be my main, and I'm going to annoy the crap out of everyone with it.
We have Pokey, the cactus things. Para Bitty Bud, Penguin, Sidestepper, Snowman, Cataquack, also from Mario Sunshine, Fishbone, Peepa, Swoop, Stingbee, Rocky Wrench, Coin Coffer, Cheep Cheep, and Conkdor.
I'll have to look at pictures of what a lot of these are.
Anyway, so it's just
Moo
wild.
Moo.
Mario Kart World looks great. It's unfortunately $80 for now. Who knows if the price will go up in the United States? But
unless you get it with the Switch.
Unless you get it with the Switch, in which
$50.
you get $30 off the game if you buy it with the Switch bundle. So that's it's like Nintendo's trying to set a precedent with the higher prices. It's just unfortunate, and it doesn't make me very happy. And especially with the tariffs probably raising the prices, it's just Nintendo, come on. But also, $450 is what I expect with the console. It's the game prices that bother me.
Yeah.
And then they also announced Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yes.
A 3D platformer Donkey Kong game where you can just destroy everything. Donkey Kong is a miner, and these other monkeys come and steal the mine, and so he has to go through each levels of underground. All those levels are underground.
All the levels are underground?
Yeah. So like that beach level that you saw, that's underground. You're under the ocean.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
See, we had it up as we said, the background, and I was just watching a little bit of it, and like, it's going to take me so long to finish that game because I will want to destroy everything and find everything.
And so that's cool. That one we don't have to go as much of a deep dive, but it's Donkey Kong's first 3D game since the Nintendo 64. He features a new, much more expressive redesign that a lot of people don't like, but I love it. It looks like the 2D art from the 90s, so like it's great for me. Everyone's like, he looks like the one from the movie. Well, the one from the movie looks like the 2D art, so like,
yeah, I'm fine with it.
Sorry you don't like Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, but like the design itself's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's been some things about it, like the little rock guy might be a little girl that's been turned into a rock because there's been some artwork of a little girl wearing a rock of the same color on her wrist.
Yeah.
Riding on Donkey Kong's back instead of the little rock guy. But yeah, it just looks like the next big 3D platformer. It looks like it's from the same team that did Mario Odyssey. So we might be waiting longer on a new 3D Mario. But hey, 3D Donkey Kong's cool. That's just awesome.
I'm excited for it. I'm going to play it.
And that's not to mention the Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics.
Yes.
So alongside the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 64, like on top of all those, GameCube games are going to start being added. So I guess they're done with the remasters because they did Thousand Year Door, Metroid Prime, and Pikmin. And so I guess everything else is just going to be put on here, which unfortunately means that The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which is going to be one of the ones available from launch, it'll be available June 5th alongside the Nintendo Switch 2 and exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2. Wind Waker has an HD version on it was remade on the Wii U, and I guess they're just not going to re-release that, which probably means that Twilight Princess is going to get the same fate, which is unfortunate, but at least it's on there. Wind Waker's my favorite 3D Zelda. Yeah. Even though I love Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite.
That's the one with the tune, right?
Yes. Yeah. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time. Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda. But on top of Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2 and F-Zero GX are also going to be on the Nintendo GameCube, along a bunch of other games coming in the future. Very, very exciting. And then we got the third-party Switch titles that were announced. Some of them are new announcements, some of them are just ports. Street Fighter 6, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, Hades 2, Daemon X Machina, Split Fiction.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I saw that. And I was like...
EA Sports, FC, and Madden, Hogwarts Legacy getting a Switch 2 version, even though it's already on Switch 1. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, which has Bikini Bottom section.
Yes, yes.
Hitman, World of Assassination, and the same team that made that game is making a 007 game. Square Enix announced that Bravely Default Flying Fairy, a HD version of the 3DS game, will be coming to Switch 2 on launch day. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 is launching on June 5th on all consoles, but also on Switch 2 for $25. And that'll mean you get all the further chapters for free, because I think it's going to be up to 8 chapters, the last 4 chapters. So chapters 1 and 2 were free, and now that he's going to charge for 3 through 8. But if you buy 3 and 4 now, you're going to be getting 5 through 8 for free. Borderlands 4 is also coming to Switch 2. Civilization 7 will be coming to Switch 2 while as a new version, utilizing the mouse controls. WWE 2K and NBA 2K are coming. Survival Kids is coming. Enter the Gungeon 2 was announced and is coming. Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to Switch 2. That gives me another excuse to play that game again. Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess, is coming. Hollow Knight Silk Song just randomly got a 2025 release date. I'll believe it when I see it. They said that in 2019. They said that in 2022. I don't believe that game's real anymore. Story Seasons Grand Bazaar is getting a Switch 2 version. Goodnight Universe, 2 Point Museum, Wild Hearts S, Witchbrook, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Star Wars Outlaws, Fast Fusion, Shadow Labyrinth, Mystery of the Soulless Army, No Sleep for Kaname Date, Reanimal. Fortnite is getting a Switch 2 version, so it'll be one of the few games that, yes, it's on Switch 1, but its version is not backwards compatible. You have to get the Switch 2 version downloaded. Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer's coming. Professional Layton in the New World of Steam seems to be getting a Switch 2 edition. They've not been clear on that. It was just shown in the sizzle reel. Tamagotchi Plaza is also coming to Switch 2, and Human Fall Flat 2 is coming to Switch 2. And then FromSoft was just like, hey, you know me, Bloodborne. You know us. You know us. Announced the Duskbloods. People thought it might have been Bloodborne 2 at first, but it's just their next dark Bloodborne-like game. You play as a vampire. It looks like you're just fighting enemies. You're just going around this very dark fantasy open world. Switch 2 exclusive. Nintendo got a From Software exclusive.
They're doing good.
I mean, dude, that's Elden Ring. That's the Elden Ring people.
Yeah.
Making a game for Switch 2.
Yeah.
That's just...
Specifically for Switch 2.
Dude, that's huge. So, like, it was a very hyped direct. It was poorly paced. I had to go back and look at all the announcements to go, okay, that was actually an exciting direct. I was kind of let down when I watched it. And then I went back and read everything. I was like, actually, no, that's exciting. And then I saw the prices and my hype went back down again. So...
yeah.
That being said, the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement has definitely been a mixed bag of emotions. I didn't like the pacing. I don't like the prices, especially now that who knows when we're going to be able to even order it here in the United States.
Yeah.
But the games are exciting. It looks like a great console. Battery life is also a negative. It doesn't seem to be lasting very long. But it looks like it's going to be a great console once... Hopefully things calm down. Once you get your hands on it, you're going to like it. It looks like Nintendo's finally doing voice chat.
Yes.
They also announced game sharing. That's another thing I forgot. So they're doing a thing where certain games will work like games on the Nintendo DS did, where, hey, I own this game, and if people with other Switches are in the same room as me, then we can share that game and play it together.
Ooh.
So not everyone has to own the same copy of the game like the Switch 1 was and 3DS and stuff was. So this is cool. Only certain games, but that's still like...
That's still,
it's still cool and they're going to do it. And that's the Switch 2 stuff. That's kind of like... We could dwell on it all we wanted, but like we've gone over the negative stuff. It really does suck. Nintendo kind of is maybe getting a little big for the britches. It's probably what this looks like. If that was the price before the tariffs, then like, yeah, that's just Nintendo being like, you're going to pay $80. Of course you're going to pay $80.
Which, like I said, that's James Cameron.
But a
mentality.
possibility is that this goes poorly for them and they pull another 3DS where they just drop the price so they don't.
Yeah.
So they don't get too many losses.
Which, like I said, $450 for a console is not.
$450 is not bad. It's just the games do need to drop the price.
Yeah.
So
60 to 70 is the like normal.
But yeah, so that's the good and the bad of the Switch 2. I am still very excited. It's just so you all know, it's definitely not going to be. When it releases, it's just going to be like, oh, hey, it released. I am not going to be able to talk about it extensively because I am definitely not getting it at launch.
I got, in lieu of birthdays, CinemaCon happened this week in Las Vegas that I forgot about until late last week, and I was like, crap. So in our first looks, we got our first look at the Naked Gun logo, Wicked for Good poster, Nobody 2 poster, the Black Phone 2 logo, and the poster for him. New looks, got a new look at a new poster for The Life of Chuck and new poster for Jurassic World Rebirth. Those weren't like officially released. They were just pictures shown at CinemaCon. And then in the panels, buckle up. Monday, March 31st, we got our Sony Pictures panel. 28 years later, a new teaser was shown. And Cillian Murphy was confirmed to return at some point in the trilogy. If I ever say shown, it means it was not released publicly. Obviously, you cannot have your phones in there.
Yeah.
You don't want anything leaked out.
Not that it didn't happen anyway, but...
Yeah. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. We got our first look at Ralph Fiennes. Reveals him as more manically and demonic. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. First teaser was shown. First footage reveals Miles and Gwen reuniting and Miles fighting the Prowler before going on an adventure with him. Features new animation techniques, and first look stills were released, including Miles vs. Prowler. And we officially got a release date of June 4th, 2027.
I usually like, oh man, that long, but good.
Good.
The stories we heard behind Across
yeah.
the Spider-Verse, this definitely needs more time so the animators aren't overworked.
Absolutely. Caught Stealing, first trailer was shown, reveals Austin Butler looking after an insane mohawk-wearing Matt Smith's apartment until a number of crime families come looking for Smith's character. Resident Evil, Zach Krager says his film will focus on one central protagonist going on a point A to point B journey, slowly falling more into hellish territory. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, new footage was shown. It follows Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell as strangers journeying together through a red door that takes them through their memories. Goat, Steph Curry appeared via video to hype of his new film. It's animated about a goat playing basketball. I Know What You Did Last Summer, first footage was shown. It reveals Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character returning in a town hall meeting about another summer of serial killer murders. The Legend of Zelda was hyped up by playing the original theme song and repeating the release date of March 26, 2027. I say original theme song for the game. Listeners don't think they're going to write a new theme song for it. Karate Kid Legends stars Ralph Macchio and Ben Wang appear to show some new footage and some of their favorite scenes, and a new trailer was shown and then, of course, released later. Spider-Man Brand New Day is the title of Spider-Man 4. Of course, Destin Daniel Cretton reveals the new title as well as the first logo, which is looking more like the Spider-Man logo.
It's starting to look more and more
like the Spider-Man logo. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited. I'm not excited about potential sequels with
Same.
Day in the title.
Same.
Same. Because even Jay hasn't read much Spider-Man comics.
No.
But he knows about One More Day.
Yeah, I know. Because of my nerdy pastime of making PowerPoints.
Yeah, because of Jay's research and PowerPoints.
Yeah.
He and I kind of do the same thing with stuff like that. So,
yeah.
and especially now that we know Mephisto exists in the MCU, it's just kind of a scary thought.
Yeah.
Even if it's not one-for-one recreating, because a lot of the stuff that happened in One More Day happened in No Way Home, but in a way that didn't make you mad or screw everything up royally.
Exactly.
You know what I kind of want Brand New Day be about? He starts to try to get close to MJ, and then he meets Gwen Stacy. And what happens then? What happens when he has a potentially new love interest?
Does he just move on from MJ? Because, but he still has his memories of like their relationship.
So maybe this is about Peter struggling with moving on and holding on to the past.
That's gonna be so sad,
dude. And if Doctor Strange is back in it, or you think Doctor Strange is back, do you think they give him a new Avengers mentor, or do you think he's just on his own this time?
I want him to be on his own.
I almost kind of want the mentor to be Daredevil, but he's just not in it much.
See, I'm fine with Daredevil showing up because that's something that's like that happens all the time.
Yeah. Like he just runs in the Daredevil, and every once in a while he says stuff like, you know.
And then Sony closed out their panel with Sam Mendes coming on to talk about the 4 Beatles films. He announced they will all release in April 2028. Unclear if it's going to be all on the same weekend or like once a weekend. I think it would make sense to be once a weekend, or else you're not going to get as much revenue, I don't think.
Yeah.
Do it all on the same day. And the official cast of the Beatles are Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, Joseph Quinn as George Harrison, Barry Kagan as Ringo Starr, and Harris Dickinson as John Lennon. And that all happened on Monday, March 31st. On Tuesday, April 1st, Lionsgate held their panel, Ballerina, for the second episode in a row. A new trailer was shown, including an extended action sequence set in a diner. The Long Walk, Mark Hamill, David Johnson, and director Francis Lawrence debut the new trailer and talk about the movie. David Johnson says they shot it chronologically with some shoot days, including having to walk 10 to 15 miles. It releases September 12th in theaters and stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Ben Wang, Charlie Plummer, Judy Greer, and Mark Hamill. And then Francis Lawrence remained on stage to talk about The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, and revealed an animated logo. Billy Ray will write the script, and he was a writer on the first Hunger Games movie, and the first teaser was released online, which I believe is just the animated logo. John Wick Chapter 5 was officially announced, as well as a John Wick spinoff about Kane, Donnie Yen's character from Chapter 4. Donnie Yen will reprise his role and also direct, and it will be stylistically modeled like Yen's previous action films, which will be awesome to watch. Luca Guadagnino's American Psycho was officially announced. Good Fortune, Aziz Ansari's new film, debuted a trailer starring Aziz Ansari, Keanu Reeves, and Seth Rogen. Keanu Reeves plays a budget guardian angel who tries to teach Ansari's character that wealth doesn't fix problems, but it fails. A new trailer for Power Ballad was shown. Now You See Me 3 was officially titled Now You See Me, Now You Don't. First trailer was shown, featuring the OG group has been disbanded, with Jesse Eisenberg teaming up with newcomers Dominic Sessa and Ariana Greenblatt, and in theaters on March 14th. And Now You See Me 4 was revealed to be in the works officially. The Housemaid, director Paul Feig and stars Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, took the stage to talk about the movie and revealed the first trailer. Hurry Up Tomorrow, director Trey Edward Schultz and star Jenna Ortega talk about the movie and show an extended look, as well as a new trailer was shown and then later released to the public. And The Weeknd performed a 10-minute set with scenes from the movie playing in the background. And then later that night, Warner Brothers Pictures held their panel, one battle after another. For the second episode in a row, the cast appear and show an extended clip. The Bride, for the second episode in a row, writer-director Maggie Gyllenhaal and star Jessie Buckley take the stage and reveal the first trailer. It follows an eccentric Bonnie and Clyde type of story that starts with Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster fawning over movie stars in a movie theater. Weirdly very excited for that. Final Destination Bloodlines revealed a full clip. Weapons, director Zach Kreger takes the stage again to talk about how the movie and reveal the first teaser. F1, producer Jerry Bruckheimer reveals an extended clip, and which is the first 10 minutes. And The Cat in the Hat, for the second episode in a row, Bill Hader appears to reveal a work-in-progress trailer. New theatrical animated Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, and Looney Tunes movies are officially in the works at Warner Brothers. That was revealed at CinemaCon.
So, you think they're actually coming out?
I doubt it. If they do, it's going to be a while.
It's just a very funny timing of Warner Brothers being like, yes, we've sold Coyote versus Acme because, we seemingly don't have any faith in our animated projects.
Specifically Looney Tunes.
Anyway, and fully animated Flintstones, Looney Tunes, and Tom and Jerry projects are happening.
Well, in theaters.
In theaters. You think they'll end up being sold to catch up or something?
Probably.
You think Warner's just like,
I
you know
think
what,
for
we'll
sure,
make it and someone else can deal with it.
Yeah, for sure the Looney Tunes will. I feel like be sold to catch up entertainment.
Because I don't know. I don't have much faith.
They're back. I feel Warner Brothers is so back and forth on the Looney Tunes stuff. Like I said, if we do get them, I feel like it's gonna be like 2028, 2029.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna take time to animate them, and I imagine at least Looney Tunes is gonna be 2D. I could see Flintstones being 3D. But Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, they don't see. They've brought them to 3D before, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, the Colin Jost Tom and Jerry one, that was 2D, right? Was that 3D?
It was
kind
3D
of like
cell shaded. It was cell
Yeah,
shaded.
yeah, okay.
That's what Coyote vs. Acme is. It's cell shaded,
Yeah.
but it looks a lot more 2D than the Tom and Jerry one did.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought. That's just me being cynical, but...
Yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers with their track record with Looney Tunes. Superman, James Gunn, and Peter Safran are joined by David Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult to talk about the film and show an exclusive sneak peek, including the very first clip. And dynamic duo, brief footage was shown, and it used purely puppetry animation with beautiful cinematography is the way they described it. On Wednesday, April 2nd, Universal Studios and DreamWorks Animation hold an advanced screening of How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action one, with reviews or reactions coming out saying it's good for an adaptation. It's good. It's a lot of it's for beat by beat, but there's still enough new stuff in it to have it be a good thing. Mm-hmm. And the Universal and Focus Features went on to hold their own panel, starting with Jurassic World Rebirth. Director Gareth Edwards and stars Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali take the stage to talk about the film. And Johansson says the aim is to bring scares back to the franchise. Yes. And they show a new trailer. The Bad Guys 2, Awkwafina and Craig Robinson take the stage to show off a new trailer. How to Train Your Dragon 2 live-action adaptation was announced. First logo releasing in theaters June 11th, 2027, which makes me wonder if they filmed these back-to-back or are currently filming them. This is what I told you. This is what I wanted from when I heard How to Train Your Dragon was getting a live-action announcement. I'm like, I want that to lead to live-action How to Train Your Dragon 2 because that is honestly one of my top 3 favorite animated movies of all time. Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers introduced the Jordan Peele-produced movie. Follows a college quarterback who gets the chance to train with his idol, who takes him into a sinister world to see what he's willing to sacrifice for fame, and first footage was shown. Nobody 2, the first trailer was shown. Did you see the synopsis, the kind of like description about it? revealed to be a vacation sequel that follows Hutch and his family's vacation as Hutch slowly slips back into his old action habits throughout the trip. Begonia, first trailer was shown. It's Yorgos Lanthimos' newest, reveals Emma Stone as a CEO who is kidnapped by conspiracy theorists played by Jesse Plemons. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, first trailer was shown. First trailer was shown for Wes Anderson's new movie, The Phoenician Scheme. Follows the richest man in Europe who is constantly involved in assassination attempts. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Jason Blum arrives on stage in a Freddy Fazbear costume, and first teaser was shown. The animatronics will be out in the real world causing chaos, and then the teaser was later released online, which featured the first look at Toy Freddy and Balloon Boy. The Black Phone 2 first teaser was shown, and it's revealed to be set at a winter camp. The phone conversations now happen in a telephone box. Megan 2.0 first trailer was shown and then later released online. Follows Megan, who is hired by the military to stop another android who is killing off all of her creators. Soulmate, James Wan introduced the first teaser, which is in the same universe as Megan 2.0. Steven Spielberg's UFO film is described as a return to form to his iconic sci-fi films with a major twist. And Wicked for Good, director John M. Chu and stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo take the stage. And the first teaser was shown, which revealed Elphaba saying, "You're the only friend I had," and Glinda saying, "And I have so many friends." And it showed Glinda and Elphaba reuniting, Elphaba starting her campaign to expose the wizard, and snippets of the original storyline of The Wizard of Oz intersecting. And Amazon MGM had their panel, Project Hail Mary. Directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller and star Ryan Gosling take the stage, show off the first trailer, which reveals Ryan Gosling as a biology teacher who must travel through space after the sun begins to erode. And it will include a friendship between Ryan Gosling's character and an E.T.-type lovable alien named Rocky. The Thomas Crown Affair, Michael B. Jordan takes the stage to reveal it will release in 2026. Verity, Dakota Johnson, Josh Hartnett, and Anne Hathaway appear via video and introduce the first trailer. Dakota Johnson plays the author who is in the midst of her next Verity book but feels she may be too close. After the Hunt, director Luca Guadagnino and stars Andrew Garfield and Io Debris take the stage to introduce the first trailer. Andrew Garfield's character is accused of assaulting Io Debris, and it becomes major news after Julia Roberts' character, an attorney, takes on his case. The first trailer for Mercy is shown, which I did not know existed. Follows Chris Pratt as a man trapped on a chair who must prove to an AI courtroom in 90 minutes that he didn't murder his wife. And after the trailer is shown, Chris Pratt appears confined to the chair until he can give a proper thanks to theaters. Our biggest thing from CinemaCon, though, Three Bags Full, a Sheep Detective movie. Hugh Jackman and Emma Thompson give a video introduction before showing poster art and footage. Crime 101 stars Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry take the stage and introduce the first trailer. It's described as Ocean's 11 meets Heat. Is God Is stars Vivica A. Fox, Mallory Johnson, and Kara Young take the stage and introduce the trailer. Follows twins who go on an Odyssey-fueled journey to fulfill the wish made by their dying mother, kill their father, which is played by Sterling K. Brown. Masters of the Universe director Travis Knight took the stage to show a behind-the-scenes featurette, including some work-in-progress props and sound bites that promised a movie faithful to the cartoon and toys, featured all of the He-Man characters in their iconic costume, and Jared Leto appeared as Skeletor, although only a hooded figure with no face. The Accountant 2 stars Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, and Cynthia Robinson, and director Gavin O'Connor take the stage to hype the film and show some new footage. Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother, Mahershala Ali will star as an assassin dealing with loneliness in Bassam Tariq's new innovatively made action film. And I Play Rocky is moving forward at Amazon MGM, follows the young Sylvester Stallone and the dramatic journey it took to get Rocky made, with Peter Farrelly set to direct. And then the last day of CinemaCon, Thursday, April 3rd, saw Paramount Pictures hold their panel. Started off with Chris Aronson of Paramount taking the stage to praise cinema and talk about steps some theaters are already taking to make movie-going better, including daily deals on concessions to incentivize guests, longer matinee pricing until 6 p.m., National Popcorn Day, where you bring your own bucket, and only showing 4 to 5 trailers with no ads beforehand. AMC was injured by that shot that was taken. Paramount CEO Brian Robbins then jokes they're going to copy Sony's model of 4 Beatles movies by releasing 4 Paw Patrol origin movies. Robbins also teased that the discourse around Trey Parker and Matt Stone's new musical comedy will be extremely loud. The Running Man, director Edgar Wright and star Glenn Powell take the stage to hype the movie and are later joined by co-stars Josh Brolin and Coleman Domingo. They introduce the first look, which features Glenn Powell surviving a grenade blast and Michael Cera using a water gun and an electrical current as a weapon. The animated Avatar The Last Airbender movie is titled The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, starring Eric Nam, Dave Bautista. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Bautista. I didn't want you coming after me again.
Yeah. What did you say last time? Bautista?
Batista.
Yeah.
Batista. And Steven Yeun in theaters January 20th, 2026. New trailer was shown for Smurfs. The SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. Tom Kenny and Mark Hamill take the stage to hype the film. An early trailer is shown revealing SpongeBob is a fan of Snoop Dogg, and it follows SpongeBob on his quest to prove his bravery by following the Flying Dutchman into the underworld. The Naked Gun. An early trailer was shown and then later released online. Shows Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. and Paul Walter Hauser as the son of the chief. Liam Neeson wears a miniskirt and pink heart panties, and the first poster is revealed. This is a dad movie if I've ever seen it. Yeah. I'm so excited. Roofman, Channing Tatum takes the stage to talk about the film and reveal first footage. Tatum plays a polite thief who robbed 60 McDonald's and lives in a Toys R Us after escaping from prison. Also starring Kirsten Dunst, Peter Dinklage, and Lakeith Stanfield. Tom Cruise takes the stage to hold a moment of silence for Val Kilmer, his friend and co-star, before giving a heartfelt speech introducing and honoring director Christopher McQuarrie with CinemaCon's Director of the Year award. And then Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, held their part of the panel, which Cruise and McQuarrie remain on stage and introduce a new trailer, which showed off a number of new water-themed stunts from Cruise and first look at Nick Offerman and Tramel Tillman. And then to cap off CinemaCon, Walt Disney Studios had their panel. Lilo and Stitch, for the third episode in a row, a new clip was shown of Lilo bringing Stitch to Nani's workplace. And a new poster was shown with Stitch destroying all of Disney's various studios. Freakier Friday, Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis took the stage to reveal a new clip. Tron Ares, for the second episode in a row, Jared Leto and Jeff Bridges take the stage to talk about the movie and reveal a new clip, as well as a trailer, which was later released online, reveals light cycles in the real world and Evan Peters and Greta Lee. Predator Badland, Elle Fanning takes the stage to reveal the first trailer and first logo. Deliver Me From Nowhere, Jeremy Allen White and Jeremy Strong take the stage and show off the first teaser, featuring Jeremy Allen White's Bruce Springsteen belting on stage. Ella McKay, the first look at the film was revealed. First trailer was shown for The Roses, featuring Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman as a couple who are slowly breaking apart and begin intense divorce proceedings, also starring Ncuti Gatwa and Andy Samberg. Thunderbolts, for the fourth episode in a row, Wyatt Russell, Florence Pugh, Hannah John Kamen, David Harbour, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus take the stage to hype the film. Then they show off a new clip that leads into a trailer. Features Red Guardian and Bucky bonding over their past before bursting the van through Val's watchtower. And it confirms Bucky lasts less than half a term as a congressman, which we kind of speculated on.
Yeah.
Avengers Doomsday, Kevin Feige says it will focus on the Avengers, Wakandans, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and the original X-Men all fighting Doctor Doom, which we'll get more on that later. And he also confirms that the full cast hasn't been revealed. Fantastic Four First Steps, Kevin Feige appears again via video to introduce a new trailer, which features Rhea and Sue announcing to the team that Sue is indeed pregnant. Johnny tells Sue that she will be an amazing mom, but isn't so sure about Reed's parenting skills. And Julia Garner's Silver Surfer appears to tell them Earth is set for destruction. Zootopia 2, Ke Kwan takes the stage to hype the film, and a new clip is shown. Introduces Quinta Brunson's Quokka therapist, Dr. Fusby, I think is her name, and confirms Judy and Nick have been partners for 1 week. And we got a new look at Gary and first look at Quinta Brunson's Quokka therapist. Avatar Fire and Ash, Zoe Saldana takes the stage to hype the film and introduces the first look in 3D, which shows the kids meeting the Wind Traders who travel through the air and are then attacked by the ash people who live around volcanoes, and revealed Payakan will return. That is all of my CinemaCon events and happenings. On the anime.
Now, breeze through this. We got a new trailer for Chainsaw Man, the movie, Ray's Arc, premiering September 19th in Japan, October 29th in the U.S. Mikadono Sanashimi wa Angai Shoroi will premiere July 2025. My Ask for One Final Thing is set to premiere this fall. Sentenced to Be a Hero premieres in October of 2025. My Dress Up Darling Season 2 premieres in July 2025. City the Animation is set to premiere in July 6th. Love Live High School Idol Club Part 2 releases in theaters Japan November 7th. The Demons Are Planning Something Good anime adaptation is in the works, while things like slime that melts clothes or tentacle traps may not seem like much to humans. Behind each trap of this nature is the blood, sweat, and tears of a demon. Enjoy this comedy story about the struggles of demons that started on Twitter with brand new short stories. Medaka is impervious to my charms. Season 2 was announced. KO releases in Japan in theaters August 15th. ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, Season 4 was announced. Hokugo Kitaku Biori, A Perfect Day for Returning Home After School anime adaptation was announced. Blue Box was renewed for Season 2. A new anime was announced and will serve as a sequel to both Ban G Dream It's by Go and The Die is Cast. Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You Season 2 was announced. Shangri-La Frontier Season 3 was announced. A John Wick prequel anime officially confirmed to be in the works, directed by Shannon Tyndall, behind Kubo and the Two Strings. Keanu Reeves will return. It follows John killing all of his rivals in one night to free himself from the High Table.
Yes.
Dan to Dan Season 2 premieres in Japan July 3rd. The first 3 episodes will premiere in theaters as Dan to Dan Evil Eye on June 6th. And Beginning After the End premiered April 2nd. Devil May Cry Season 1 dropped on Netflix April 3rd. Windbreaker Season 2 premiered April 3rd. Fire Force Season 3 premieres April 4th. To Be Hero X premieres April 5th. And Anne Shirley premieres April 5th. In comics, Jason Todd is getting his own Year 1 treatment with the upcoming 3-issue miniseries Batman and Robin Jason Todd. Batman has a new Robin, Jason Todd. Jason is a rash, impulsive, and reckless kid with a troubled past who Batman was certain could be molded into Gotham's next protector. But can the Dark Knight save Jason Todd from the darkness within himself? And when a mysterious new villain shrouded in white cloth and mystery sets his sights on Jason, Batman realizes that even he has what it takes to drain the anger and torment out of his young new ward. And Star Wars Hyperspace Stories, the Tides of Terror 4-issue miniseries will bring back Kit Fisto alongside Mace Windu and Shak Ti, releasing on July 16th.
On my comic side of things, on the DC side, the Smallville sequel series is currently off the table from happening. Lanterns, Jasmine Cephas Jones was cast, and it reveals Guy Gardner will return, or Nathan Fillion will return as Guy Gardner. Peacemaker Season 2, Bray Knoll has been cast as White Rabbit. And Superman, the new teaser was released that was shown at CinemaCon. New look at David Cornsweet as Superman, new look at Crypto, and the first look at the Fortress of Solitude.
Dude, I saw the little clip.
It's so good.
Dude, I love the thing where it's like, we're emotionless robots. No need to thank us.
And the girl's like, he looked at me. On the Marvel side of things, Daredevil Born Again, for the 7th episode in a row, episode 5, 6, and 7 were released, and the mid-season trailer was released before episode 5 and 6 dropped. I did tell you I cannot reveal why, but after episode 7, it did drop from a 10 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 for me. Anyone who has seen the show knows why. Probably knows why. Captain America Brave New World passed $400 million worldwide. Thunderbolts for the 4th episode in a row. We got a new teaser, new look at Sentry, and new character posters. Avengers Doomsday announced the cast in a 5 and a 6 hour long event. In order of how they announced it: Chris Hemsworth, Vanessa Kirby, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Letitia Wright, Paul Rudd, Wyatt Russell, Tanaquerta Mejia, which those of you who don't know is Namor, Eben Moss Backrack, Simu Liu, Kelsey Grammer, Florence Pugh, Louis Pullman, Danny Ramirez, Joseph Quinn, David Harbour, Winston Duke, Hannah John Kamen, and Tom Hiddleston. And then here's where it started to get very exciting. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, Rebecca Romaine, James Marsden, Channing Tatum, and then Pedro Pascal and Robert Downey Jr., which means it's going to be a Secret Avengers versus X-Men. Maybe.
I don't think it's going to be a versus.
After Kevin said that, I'm like,
he said it's going to be about them being Doomsday.
Yeah,
I do. I don't think we've talked about on the podcast. We have a theory about like the multiversal Illuminati. Like,
yes,
there was the Illuminati and
Multiverse Madness.
Multiverse Madness, but there's something about like a multiversal Illuminati of like once Loki like takes over, maybe he like gets just a group of like a council of like characters together and be like, hey, we just need someone to help keep an eye on things. I can't do this by myself. Who are we getting? And then maybe this Doctor Doom kind of gets a little power hungry and breaks off from the Illuminati. So so Patrick Stewart's like, okay, we're gonna need help here. And Loki has to pull people from different timelines to help fight Doctor Doom, who maybe wants to take over Loki's spot
as the protector of the timeline.
So maybe that's what the plot is.
So good.
But this is just me. This is me going, what's the best way they can play with the toys without this being Tony Stark? If Doctor Doom is Tony Stark, I'm going to be so mad.
That's going to be one of my last nails in the coffin.
That is good. That will be the last nail in the coffin for me. Where I'm like, okay, you'll make a movie I'm interested in. I'll go see it, but I'm not watching.
Yeah.
I'm not watching everything anymore.
Yeah. The cast announcement got 275 million digital views, making it Marvel's biggest live stream ever. And Florence Pugh and David Harbour said they have not read a script yet, despite filming happening soon. Black Panther 3, Ryan Coogler says they haven't finalized Denzel Washington's deal to star just yet, but, quote, as long as he's interested, it's going to happen. The Fantastic Four New Steps new poster was released, new look at the team in their spacesuits, and Matt Shackman says there are no other superheroes in their universe, saying, quote, there's no Easter eggs, there's no running into Iron Man or whatever, they're it. And then Elizabeth Olsen says she will not return as Scarlet Witch in both Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. And Halle Berry says she isn't returning as Storm in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, so I did have some Switch stuff to cover before we wrapped up the episode that I did forget. Nintendo did announce a tech demo, basically, that kind of shows off the Switch 2's new like mouse mode and everything. It's mini games. You go around, you just get information on what the new console is all about. Called, I think it's the Welcome Tour, like the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's paid. It's a paid, so you have to pay for it. It's not packed in with the Switch for some dumb reason. The Pro controller has an audio jack on it, so you can put headphones in it, which is cool. This is Nintendo. This is like the other things is Nintendo finally doing stuff that we were glad they didn't do. This is something that's like, okay, I'm glad they're doing. Is this in the voice chat? And then Street Fighter 6 is getting amiibo of some of the characters when it comes out. So that's cool. But those are just things I'm like, those were important to bring up, but I completely forgot them because there's a lot of information to go through.
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, that is the last of our news before
celebrity deaths. Larry Tebman was 82, founding member and singer of the Standells. Lauren Bell was 41, former Jeopardy contestant. Cynthia Santangelo was 58, married with children, actress and model. Young Scooter was 39, Atlanta rapper and frequent Gucci Mane collaborator. Richard Chamberlain was 90, Golden Globe winning star of Dr. Kildare, Shogun, and the Thornbirds. Sian Barbara Allen was 78, You'll Like My Mother and Billy Two Hats actress. Patty Maloney was 89, the Little Rascals actress and voice actress behind The Smurfs, The New Batman Adventures, and Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. And, of course, Val Kilmer was 65, Batman Forever, Tombstone, The Doors, and Top Gun star, among many others. My sources this week were Deadline, Movie Insider, Hollywood Reporter, the official site of CinemaCon, the playlist, THR, AP Entertainment, Empire, Nexus Point News, Discussing Film, and big shout out to Cinema Blend, who had their live blogs of CinemaCon that I would not be here without.
I want to thank my sources this week: GameSpot, Nintendo, Crunchyroll, Variety, ComicBook.com, IGN, Mashable, Deadline, and Discussing Film. So our last episode of the Muppet tier list is leaking into April.
Yes.
This is the first time we've had a tier list have to do this, but we just couldn't be helped. Which might mean April might end up being either a really short tier list or just another variety pack.
But we got some big hitters.
We got some big hitters,
to
so
finish it out,
we'll start off with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
So this is all you.
So keep Arthur.
Okay.
And I think we need to keep Dutch too, because he's like, if you haven't played the game, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think keep Micah too, because you just can't hate him up as much as I hate Micah. I think John would be a good Kermit.
Okay.
John Marston. And then Miss Piggy would not be Abigail. She'd be Sadie Adler. Because Sadie Adler is a boss.
Okay.
And they like take her on in the beginning, and then she becomes like a bounty hunter, and she's like, no, I can do my own thing. And she's like, Miss Piggy would be Sadie. The rest of them you can kind of just throw in there. Fozzie might be a good like uncle, because he's like the very much, you need to be working or stuff like that. The story is amazing. The Muppets, there's some comedic moments in there. The Muppets might take it down a bit. So, but I mean, still, that's A tier. A tier, easy A tier. I think it's going to be about middle of the road A.
Okay.
I feel like around Final Fantasy levels. Next two.
You were just going to cover them both
Cover
at
them
once?
both, yeah. Spider-Man 1 and 2.
So is this one where every character is just a Spider-Man character? Or do we keep Peter and everyone's a Muppet?
I was thinking, what if we keep Peter and like all the villains be the Muppets?
Okay.
Could be like John Wick.
Spider-Man beating up Muppets?
Yeah, but then who'd Kermit be?
Who would Kermit be? I don't know.
Is Bunsen?
Maybe Kermit is Doc Ock instead of Bunsen. Like, yeah, Bunsen. Yeah. Oh, Doc Ock, Bunsen, but like,
yeah.
Maybe you make Kermit
Sam Norman.
So you become even more sad.
Oh yes,
when he
that's
turns
so true.
When he turns bad, so you're like, oh man, now Kermit.
That's so true.
Norman Osborn could be. I don't know.
I don't know who Norman Osborn would be.
Vulture would have to be Sam Eagle, right?
Absolutely.
Kingpin.
Okay, Kingpin. Honey, Honeydew. Dr. Bunsen.
They're
both
just
bald.
because they're both bald. I was going to say we need to stick Statler and Waldorf here in somewhere. Statler, Waldorf, Kingpin.
Oh, yes.
Wilson and William Fisk.
Wilson and William Jim and James Gordon.
It's another Jim and James
Jim
Gordon.
And James Gordon all over again. Animal would be Screwball. I'm just kidding.
Black Cat would be Miss Piggy.
Black Cat would be Miss Piggy. Easy. Black Cat would be Miss Piggy. And then, should we keep Miles and MJ and Aunt May?
Maybe.
Who would Martin Lee be?
Martin Lee? Walter? Just like the well-meaning guy that you find out is
is actually a bad guy.
Yeah.
Very much not. Then we go Spider-Man 2.
Or is it Scooter?
Oh, yes. Scooter. Yeah, no, Scooter's going to be.
Rhino. Is Animal Rhino or Scorpion? Like one of those two?
I feel like Animal would be more Scorpion.
More Scorpion?
I just see animals like crawling more than anything else. And if we would
or maybe, I'm like, what if the entire Sinister Six is just like Kermit as Doc Ock, and then the other 5 are just Electric Mayhem? but then Sam Eagle wouldn't be Vulture,
which is just perfect.
It would have to be what's his name that plays the trumpet. Anyway, but
Zoot.
Yeah, Zoot.
Zoot or saxophone. No, Floyd is the one who plays the trumpet.
Floyd is the one that plays the trumpet, and Zoot's the saxophone. Yeah.
Electro. Who'd Electro be? Would he be Walter?
Gonzo.
Oh yes, Electro's Gonzo.
And then Rhino is we said no. Yeah, we haven't thought of a good Rhino. Do we make it Rizzo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Rizzo.
We just got Rizzo and Gonzo together.
Yeah.
And then just leaking into 2, we have the Venoms. We have
Kraven, Sandman,
Lizard, Sandman.
Lizard. I forgot about Lizard. We still need a Norman.
Oh yeah, Norman.
Would Norman be Rowlf?
Is Norman another human?
Norman, we can use human.
Do we just keep bringing back Chris Cooper?
Yeah.
We just keep bringing back Chris Cooper
when
we need an evil businessman.
Chris Cooper is Norman, but it fits though.
But then his son is Walter, who becomes Venom.
Exactly, Harry.
Yeah.
I think that works. Let's see. We need a Sandman. We need a Kraven. We need a Lizard.
Rowlf could be Sandman.
Rowlf can be in there somewhere.
Is Beaker Lizard?
We haven't found a place for Fozzie.
We haven't found a place for Fozzie. Is Fozzie Taskmaster? Or Mysterio,
I forgot
one of the
about
villains that brings back
like
that leaves
mission
behind the little voice clips of like
that you have to follow. I feel like Fozzie would be a good Mysterio. Who's Kraven though? Who has like the bravado of the Muppets? So you have the good like intimidating screen presence as Kraven.
Sweetums.
He kills everyone because he just eats them.
Alrighty, and due to technical difficulties, we are ending on these 2.
Yes.
So where do we put these? Oh, never mind.
We're back. We're back. My laptop's out of fit.
Okay, we got to speed through this though because your battery is dying.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, are these S tier?
I think it's absolutely S tier. Is it like God of War and Batman level though?
Luigi's Mansion maybe.
Above Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put them just right back to back. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I think obviously you keep Cal.
I would almost say we don't need to think about this one much. It's just more Star Wars with Muppets.
It is, which would be awesome. The guy with 6 arms that drives, that's Rowlf.
Yeah.
How do you know that might be Fozzie? I'm thinking. What are you thinking for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
B.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not classic Star Wars, but it's still more Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm going to say below The Last of Us.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm going to say above The Last of Us. Do you think that's a good area right there?
Yeah.
Between Last of Us and Professor Layton. The Secret of Monkey Island.
So this one, for those who don't know, Monkey Island is a classic point-and-click adventure series that dates back to the 90s. Secret of Monkey Island is, in fact, 1990. It follows Guybrush Threepwood, who wants to become a pirate. He arrives on Melee Island to try to find a way onto Monkey Island, where a ghost pirate, LeChuck, returns as a ghost to try to win the love of Governor Elaine Marley, who is also a love interest for Guy. And then, so you just point and click, you solve puzzles. There's several characters. There's the local voodoo priestess, Stan, the used boat salesman, Carla, the swordmaster, a prisoner named Otis, and Meat Hook, whose hands have been replaced by hooks.
Swedish chef.
Oh my gosh, Swedish chef with hooks for hands. Hurdy, hurdy.
But it's still very clearly a human hand with a
holding like a fake.
Exactly.
Stan, the used boat salesman, I almost think should be Fozzie. This
That's
is
what
almost
I was
one
going
where
to.
every character is probably a Muppet except for maybe LeChuck. Just bring Tim Curry back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was honestly thinking Fozzie as a used boat salesman as well. Is Miss Piggy the woman?
Elaine Marley, probably.
Yeah.
Which would harken back to Tim Curry's that one interview where he's talking about like the greatest love he's ever had on stage was Miss Piggy. And then Kermit is the guy that wants to be a pirate. And then there's eventually a talking head that like joins you for a little bit of the adventure, and he like talks to you and stuff, but it's not too big. Maybe Rizzo or something. I don't know. But like your main character's there. Anyway, so this one almost feels like it's just more. It's a pirate adventure. It already has the kind of Muppety humor, I would say. So is this another? Is it high A, low S?
I was thinking at least high A
at
for
least
sure.
High A. Put it above Mario and Luigi Partners in Time.
So the very first A.
Yeah, very first A.
Going back to Spider-Man, I sure guys have never used Pepe.
Oh.
I thought he'd be an amazing Craven.
Amazing Craven. I was gonna say Carnage.
Absolutely Carnage. That's who I was gonna say earlier. I forgot. Uncharted. Okay, we keep Nathan Drake.
You keep Nathan Drake, and everyone else is a Muppet.
Everyone else.
Sully. Vic and Victor Sullivan. I'm kidding.
Vic and Victor Sullivan. We doing it again. Miss Piggy is it's not Emily. Elena. I was close. I said Elaine.
Okay, so Miss Piggy's Elena, and is Chloe Janice? Or is it the Muppet Piggy? Or do you keep
the Muppet
Nathan
Piggy would be Nadine.
Do you keep Nathan and Elena?
Keep Nathan and Elena, have Miss Piggy. We could honestly have Miss Piggy and Janice be Chloe and Nadine.
Okay.
Because they go on to lead the Lost Legacy.
Alrighty.
That brings up who's Victor Sullivan.
Who's Victor Sullivan? The options in my head are you have Rowlf, Sam the Eagle.
I was thinking Rowlf as Cutter from Uncharted 3.
Okay. Nathan's brother.
Sam Kermit.
Kermit.
You think Kermit?
Yeah, it would work.
Kermit.
Victor Sullivan.
Kermit just smoking.
So Vic. Well, he smoked before.
That is true.
Victor Sullivan. You like I said, Vic and Victor Sullivan.
Vic and Victor Sullivan.
Sam Eagle. If it's not Rowlf, then what's another like old wisecracking character? Because Rolf's really kind of that wisecracking.
Yeah, I honestly think Rowlf might fit.
We haven't used him much. We always forget. Next time we do one of these tier lists, we just need a picture of the Muppets in front of us.
We need to have that.
Have my poster,
I looked at it, I'm like, oh wait. See, I think if Rowlf is not Victor, then he could also be Sam.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know who Kermit would be.
But this is kind of more Indiana Jones Muppets. Only with a little more of a...
But also with the humor and Nathan Drake alongside Muppets.
No, Nathan Drake working off Muppets would be...
Nolan North working off Muppets. I'm thinking S tier.
You're thinking S tier? I could see it being S tier. At the very least, one alone being like just remade with Muppets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude.
But you get into
amazing.
4 though. Like 4 where everything comes together, so you just get kind of everyone getting kind of a... Anyway.
Then it becomes fantastic.
At the beginning, instead of playing Crash Bandicoot, he's playing that PS1 Muppet game.
Yes.
with Robin.
Yes. I'm going to just toss this out there. Hear me out.
Okay.
Between Batman and Epic Mickey.
I could see it.
You see it that high? Do you think
it being up there, especially if you do the whole series? Like it would kind of be like a good...
It'd be like an investment.
Yeah.
Do you think...
then when the prequel movie comes out with Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and then you get
a young Rowlf.
Yeah, you Muppet.
Mark Wahlberg is Rowlf.
Mark Wahlberg. It's just Mark Wahlberg with dog ears and a nose. It's not even a puppet. He's just like...
Okay, Rowlf is Victor.
He's like, hold on. I know how to fix this. Play the piano.
And he's acting alongside a young piglet. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Does this push us up past Batman?
Maybe. Just the idea of Mark Wahlberg playing. Okay, then we got to. Okay, now I just want. This is unrelated. Now I just want like a Rowlf biopic with Mark Wahlberg as Rowlf.
Me too.
Talking about doing all the old commercials and being like, I was the first Muppet, but it's always Kermit they remember.
It's like when David Harbour's on SNL and they did Grouch.
Dude, we never ever put Sesame Street characters in these.
We never.
Oh my gosh, Big Bird is Vulture. Elmo.
Imagine how low-key terrifying that would be, though, because he's saying all these sinister things, but it's Big Bird's voice.
Elmo is Cletus Cassidy.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
We can't go back, though. We got to move on.
Uncharted,
just put it between God of War and Batman. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And now we finally...
I never thought it'd be this high.
Neither did I, but then
Mark Wahlberg.
I usually hate celebrity recastings of famous voice actors, but the guy that's always Rowlf is gonna be Rowlf. No, Mark Wahlberg doing a Rowlf,
and it's just Mark Wahlberg doing his regular voice.
Yeah.
Hey dog, how's your mother?
Oh, look, a piano.
Tickling the ivories.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm moving it above God of War. It's moved up above God of War. The power of Mark Wahlberg has caused it to rise two placements from third to first place.
Okay, now finally we have Undertale. So this one, Jay, I know you want to play through Undertale, so I want to try not to get to any spoilers. But this is about a human child that falls down into the mountains. And in the mountains, a long time ago, there was a war between humans and monsters where the humans drove the monsters and sealed them using magic within the mountain. And for a time, the monsters just kind of did what they could, and they moved deeper into the mountains, and they just made settlements, and they still lived under their king.
Yeah.
And then, so that's where the game starts, is a human many, many years later, and it's the year 20XX. Like, it's not even like it's, a human child who you name falls into the mountain and just tries to and trying to get back out, ends up either killing or touching the lives of every monster that they meet. There's so many charming characters. Ooh. There's Toriel, the motherly goat lady that doesn't really want you to move deeper into the mountains because of how dangerous it would be for a human child. Like, she just wants you to stay with her. She can be your mom. She can raise you, teach you. She always wanted to be a school teacher, so this is it's like she's very sweet.
Yeah.
There's Sans the skeleton, the pun, wisecracking, Fozzie.
Yeah.
The first thing he does when you meet him, and I don't want to say too many, like I said, I don't want to say too many spoilers, but it is a 10-year-old game.
Yeah.
The first thing Sans does when he meets you is he's a silhouette, and he's like, turn around and shake my hand. And you shake his hand, and he's got a whoopee cushion in his hand. Then there's Sans' brother.
That is 100% Fozzie.
There's Sans' brother, Papyrus, who is a try-hard. He wants to be part of the Royal Knights, so he thinks catching this human will be his way to get into the Knights, but he's just a goofy...
Gonzo?
Nothing goes right for him because he's such a goofball, and everyone's kind of like, we can't really take him seriously, but you gotta love him.
Is that Gonzo?
Maybe. There's Undyne, the head of the Royal Knights, who is actively trying to kill you.
Yeah.
There's the King of the Mountains, the Monster King, who is just a sweet guy, but he wants your soul for the good of his people, even if it breaks his heart. There's the royal scientist who builds a very flamboyant and show-offy robot who takes up a lot of the game of just putting you through various game shows and stuff.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different characters you meet, a lot of different... It's a game of just moments where Muppets... I'm thinking you keep the human child and everyone else is a Muppet. So instead of the monsters being sealed away in the mountain, Muppets are sealed away in the mountain.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of emotion behind it. It's a very emotional game. I don't want the spoilers, man. Is just it can be a very powerful game.
Yeah.
Very, very good game. Yes, its fandom is a little, it can have its issues. But the soundtrack,
as most
great.
fandoms do.
You've heard some of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this game, I almost want to say it could be it is potentially could be an S tier.
Yeah.
Just from the character moments alone. It allows Muppets to just be Muppets for a moment.
I was thinking the way you're describing it was S tier.
Maybe put it below Epic Mickey.
Below Epic Mickey?
Yeah.
Above Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm. I could hear arguments for Muppets making it a lesser game, but as far as it being a game that allows Muppets to be Muppets for a bit, I'd say S tier. And that is our tier list.
For the month of March. To recap, S tier, we got Uncharted. Never thought it'd be this high. God of War, Batman Arkham Asylum, Epic Mickey, Undertale, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Luigi's Mansion. The A tier got Secret of Monkey Island, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Banjo-Kazooie, Ratchet & Clank, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, It Takes Two, Red Dead 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Persona 4, Assassin's Creed, Danganronpa, and Ghost of Tsushima. In the B tier, we got Legend of Zelda
Ocarina of Time,
Five Nights at Freddy's, Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, The Last of Us, Chrono Trigger, Crash Bandicoot, Persona 5, Grim Fandango, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And in the C tier, we have Resident Evil, Far Cry, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Until Dawn, and Portal 2. Nothing in the D tier this month. Our first tier list with no D tier. Of course, nothing Muppets is ever going to be D tier.
No. The only reason some were D tier last time was just because, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
50 Shades of Grey should have been S tier, but
whatever. On that note, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those interactive things. Follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays for Nerds. Follow me, Tristan Stump, on most social medias at SirStumpsALot17 or SirStumpsALot.
Follow me on Twitter at PolarPanda001. I just got some more animal tweets up. And Chris M. Pratt fan, it's going to be, if you're looking for me on social media, it's going to be either one of those two. And thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you very much, especially this episode, because it's probably going to be a long one.
Yes, it's a long boy.
We will see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.